In the heart of southeastern Nigeria, where tradition and modernity dance together in an eternal embrace, two young souls are about to embark on a journey that will test the limits of love, loyalty, and destiny. This is the story of Amarachi and Chimaobi, whose hearts, once filled with animosity, will learn the true meaning of love and sacrifice. Welcome to The Healing Heart and Threads of Fate. Amarachi, her name whispered like a prayer, strode through the bustling market, her eyes searching for something beyond the colorful kanga cloths and ripe mangoes. She was no ordinary girl, her dreams soared higher than the palm trees. Amarachi wanted to heal, to mend broken bodies and wounded souls. She dreamed of a family hospital, a sanctuary where love and medicine intertwined. And then there was Chimaobi, a man of contrast. Born into wealth, yet estranged from his father, Chief Obidik, a man whose riches dripped with the stain of ill-gotten gains. Chimaobi's heart beat to a different rhythm, one that defied privilege and yearned for justice. His dream mirrored Amarachi's, to become a doctor, to heal, and to build a legacy of honor. Our story begins in the bustling markets of Anambra, where Amarachi, a young woman with dreams as vast as the sky, searches for herbs to heal her ailing grandmother. Oh, look who we have here, the girl who thinks she's better than everyone else just because she reads a few books, said Chimaobi, mockingly. And look who we have here, the boy who thinks money can buy him respect. If you have nothing better to do, leave me alone, said Amarachi, irritated. Their words were sharp, their gazes cold as steel, but beneath their clash lay the first spark of a fire that neither could foresee. Fate, however, has a way of binding even the most unlikely hearts. When Chimaobi's younger sister falls gravely ill, it is to Amarachi that he turns, swallowing his pride for the sake of his beloved sibling. I need your help, Amarachi. My sister, she's very sick, said Chimaobi, with difficulty. Of course, I'll do what I can. Bring her in, said Amarachi, softening. In the quiet of that clinic, as Amarachi tended to the ailing child, a new understanding began to bloom. Their shared love for medicine and their people forged a bond that neither could deny. In those moments, dreams were shared, dreams of a future where they might walk side by side in a hospital of their own, serving their community. Maybe one day, we'll work together in our own hospital. Imagine what we could achieve, said Amarachi, smiling. You really think that's possible? Us, working together, said Chimaobi, surprised. Anything is possible if we put our minds to it, Amarachi said. One day Amarachi fell ill, her laughter silenced by fever. Chimaobi faced an impossible choice. Their pockets were empty, and the Anambra healer's herbs weren't enough. Desperation drove him to Chief Obidik's doorstep, where shadows clung to the walls like guilt. The old man's eyes bore into Chimaobi's soul. But the path to true love is rarely smooth. Chimaobi's father, Chief Obidik, was a man of great wealth, and even greater corruption. When his son came to him in desperation, seeking money to save Amarachi, the chief saw an opportunity to bind his son to his own dark dealings. He offered a deal, money for Amarachi's healing, but at a cost. You want money to save your girlfriend, don't you? Sign this contract. Help me with a small business venture, and the money is yours." Chief Obidike said. "What kind of business venture?" Chimaobi said, hesitant. "One that will make us both very rich." "Don't ask too many questions," Chief Obidike said, smirking. With no other choice, Chimaobi signed the contract, a decision that would weigh heavily on his soul. Amarachi's health improved, but the cost of her recovery was far greater than Chimaobi could have imagined. When Chief Obidike's closest friend's illegal activities came under scrutiny, he sought to protect his son by any means necessary, even if it meant tearing him away from the woman he loved and flee, dragging his family across borders to escape the jaws of justice. "I don't want to do this, but if it's the only way to save you, I will," Amarachi said, teary-eyed. "You're just going to leave? After everything we've been through?" Chimaobi said, angry. And so, with hearts heavy with sorrow, they parted ways. But love, once kindled, is not so easily extinguished. In the dark of night, as Chimaobi walked the lonely streets, his thoughts filled with despair, danger lurked in the shadows. An attack, brutal and swift, left him on the brink of death, and there, in the darkness, Chief Obidike followed, desperate to save his son. But fate laughed, his father arriving only to meet a tragic end, a gunshot, a life extinguished. The chief cradled his dying son, regret etching lines on his face. "Forgive me," he whispered, but forgiveness was a luxury buried in the red soil. A good Samaritan found him, carried him to safety, and called his mother, and his mother, desperate to save her only son, whisked him away to safety to heal both body and soul. But the scars of that night would remain, a reminder of all that had been lost. 5 years passed, a surgeon's scalpel mending scars, but love's wounds ran deeper. 5 years passed, and the boy who had once been broken returned as a man, a doctor determined to heal the wounds of others, even as his own heart still bled. Amarachi had moved on, married the wealthy Emeka, her laughter echoing in high society circles. Chimaobi's heart cracked anew, but duty anchored him. "She looks happy, that's all that matters," Chimaobi said to himself. But even as he tried to move on, fate drew them together once more, this time as colleagues in the very hospital where their dream had first taken root, their paths colliding like stars in a forgotten constellation. Their reunion was awkward, filled with the echoes of all that had been lost. But as the days turned to months, old wounds began to heal, and their friendship, once fragile, grew strong again. "It's good to have you back, Chimaobi. You've become an amazing doctor," Amarachi said, smiling. "I never stopped thinking about our dream, Amarachi," Chimaobi said, softly. "But the past, once buried, has a way of rising again." When Chimaobi crossed paths with the man who had nearly taken his life, the truth came to light, a truth that would shatter everything Amarachi believed. Chimaobi records the confession, revealing Emeka's involvement in the attack. With the evidence in hand, Chimaobi exposed the man who had brought so much pain to their lives. Amarachi, heartbroken by the betrayal, turned to the one person she could trust, the man who had never stopped loving her. "I was blind, Chimaobi. I'm so sorry for everything," Amarachi said, tearfully. "It's over now, Amarachi. We can finally move on," Chimaobi said, gently. Amarachi stood, a woman who loved, lost, and found again. Chimaobi's heart beat in sync with hers. They married, their vows woven with threads of pain and redemption. And so, after all the trials and tribulations, their dream was finally realized. A hospital, built on the foundation of love, trust, and resilience, now stood as a beacon of hope in their community. "We did it, Chimaobi. Our dream has come true," Amarachi said, smiling. "And it's just the beginning, my love," Chimaobi said, with love. In the quiet moments, they remembered their journey from hate to love, from darkness to dawn. Fate, fickle and forgiving, had stitched their lives together. And as they tended to broken bodies and wounded souls, they whispered stories, their own tale of resilience, etched into the walls of Anambra State. In the end, it was not wealth, power, or status that healed their hearts, but the love they shared and the dreams they nurtured together. For in the healing of others, they found the healing of their own hearts. This is the legacy of Amarachi and Chimaobi, and this is the healing heart and threads of faith, a love that defied wealth, a healing that transcended time. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories, and help me grow my channel. Like, comment down below, and share to your family and friends. See